I'm sure you've heard the phrases before. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Life is a long journey. Or Sheryl Crow, every day is a winding road. From the Canterbury Tales to the Green Mile, the journey has been a theme for life, and a life well lived. And the gospel today is really no different. The Magi are on a journey of faith to find the Christ child for the benefit of the world and also for the benefit of themselves. They are on the move, and they let God guide them by the star. They don't just go following their own path. They wait for that star to give them the directions they need to go. They look up to the sky. In that time, that's God's place. When you look to this world, you're looking at human beings. When you look to the sky, you're looking toward God. And they're looking up to the sky, to God, for direction. I'm sure they followed with a great deal of doubt, some worry, some anxiety. I'm sure they asked the famous travel question, "Are we there yet?" But they followed despite everything. I wonder also how the other people that knew them and loved them felt about them making this trip. You're doing what? You're going to follow what? Well, where exactly you're going? You don't know? Are you out of your minds? I'm sure that was their reaction. And maybe even some people in their own party were a little doubtful about where they would go. So what are we called then to do on the Feast of the Epiphany? First of all, look to God for direction in our lives. So many times we just focus on our own desires, our own needs. But maybe God is willing and ready to direct us on our way. And of course we look to Moses in the Old Testament, who was the epitome of men not asking for directions. 40 years following the path, he wasn't quite sure where to go. And yet, even though he was directed by God, he was able to get where he needed to go. So essentially in our lives, we can ask this basic question: Lord, where do you want me to go? I know that's been true in my life. I remember going on retreat a while ago, asking God for direction on whether I should become a pastor or not. I was in the seminary, in the vocation office, working with John Barkmeyer at the time. And I went on a silent retreat, and I did get a response. And the response was pretty simple. Do what you will. God will be with you. And that really has been a part of my life, and has really changed my life and been a great blessing for me as well. So we have to look to God, look to the skies, to ask God where exactly he wants us to go. It will change us for the better. Other than looking to God for direction, we can also just follow the simple mandate of just do something, get going, move forward. Once again, I worked in the vocation office with John Barkmeyer, and when I would talk to young men who were considering priesthood, if I had a nickel for every time I heard, well, I want to keep my options open, and maybe next year, that's not the Epiphany idea. The Epiphany idea is that we are mobile. We are moving forward always. We don't stay in one place. Like a shark, that if it stops swimming, it sinks. We are kind of in the same way. The Magi are mobile. They're seeking. They're moving forward with purpose. And the first thing they have to do is what? They have to pack. Are they going to pack everything? No. They have to leave behind the things that will get in the way of their journey to the Christ child, and take the things that are absolutely necessary for their journey to the child Jesus. And so that's true for us as well. We have to get rid of the things that keep us away from the Lord and embrace those things that allow us to get closer to the Lord. Once again, the Magi are always moving, but there are other people in the gospel who are not moving at all. Once again, who stays put? The Magi's family and friends. Also, too, in the gospel today, there are the priests and the scribes. When they are asked, where is this Christ child supposed to be born? Boom. They know the answer right away, don't they? But do they actually go? No. can't be bothered. I'll do that some other day. And then, of course, there's Herod himself. Go find the child and come back to me. Basically saying, tell you what, you do the hard work of faith. You do the hard work of following the path to Jesus, and then get back to me. So he's basically a spiritual slug. He just kind of lies there. And then get back to me when you finally find this Jesus person. So essentially, they're sending the message of, we really don't want to find Jesus. We'll wait for somebody else to find him, and then maybe we'll seek him some other time. And in society now, that seems to be the case as well. So many people are pulling away from church, pulling away from their religion. The fastest growing number of people in the United States religiously are the nuns. And I don't mean N-U-N-S. It's N-O-N-E-S. When they are asked, what religion do you belong to, they say, none, nothing. And then so many people I've heard as well who have told me, well, I can just pray in bed, or I'll watch a video or a podcast, I'll Google Christianity maybe, and then if it sounds interesting, maybe I'll follow. Well, that's a lazy Christianity. It's not an Epiphany idea. So we, as Catholic Christian people, are always on the march. We're always moving forward. Essentially, the mandate is to get going. And so that calls us to a great deal of sacrifice. It calls us to be people of service as well, reaching out to others. And so I would challenge you as well. If you're not a minister, not a lector, not a server, not participating in choir or religious ed or in St. Vincent de Paul, get going. Start picking something new up. That way you can challenge yourself religiously. So essentially, we are on the march. We are moving forward. We pray that the Lord can give us the strength and the courage that we need to move forward. And so, at the end of Mass today, what do I say to you? Go forth. The Mass is ended. Go forth. The Mass is ended. Not now. Go forth. Go forth. Essentially, eventually, we'll kick you out of the place because you're not supposed to be here after this hour. You're supposed to be out in the world, reaching out to other people in faith, hope, and love, caring for the sick, caring for people who need a friend. And so always we are called to get going, to move forward, and to be mobile like the Magi are. So we pray this morning that we can truly have the courage, first of all, to ask God for direction. Lord, where are you leading me? And even if it might be a little scary, even if it's a little new, let's embrace that invitation that God gives to us. And then second of all, get going. Move forward. Be mobile. Because Jesus went from place to place to place to minister. We also, too, are called to go from place to place to place, from church to work to school to wherever we might be, to bring the good news and to encounter the Christ child.